Okay, so this is a tricky one, and my point here, this is not a video where I'm formally asking for money. But yes, in fact, I was going to do this for the channel members, but I might as well do it for you guys. Don't worry, channel members, I'll do something extra for you guys. So there's a controversy with how DOA is raising money for his defense. Now, let's be honest, hating DOA will get you some money. It will get you some clicks and even subscribers. I have many things critical of DOA, so I have no problem with that. But I do feel we should try to at least be minimally honest. Now, let me get to the point real quick. So I have a GoFundMe. I've not shown it to anyone. I've told a few people about it. It's for medical expenses, and I will say research costs. Now, I was in a really bad place like a week ago. Now, maybe I will be getting some good hours at work, but it will still be tough for me. I will probably have to get on public assistance. Again, it's my dilemma. I'll have to work it out. If you guys want to contribute for some medical bills, great. This is not really about the GoFundMe, but it has to be talked about the politics of GoFundMe. So I want to be open about that and be transparent. So for his legal defense, DOA is not doing a GoFundMe. Instead, he's opting for GiveSendGo, which is a less well-known platform, and he's going to do it that way. Now he's been very successful. He's raised quite a little bit of money. There are legit questions about who has the money. Apparently, Lara has the money, but not him, but Lara's going to give it over. So it does seem kind of shady, but it is what it is. Now, I know the preemptive thing would be, of course you don't have a problem. You're a grifter like him. You're asking for, he's like, why don't you work for a... Oh, no, I'm doing the GoFundMe. Now, I'm not even sure I will officially premiere it to you guys. I'm still debating it. But I have it formally set up. I have not advertised it, but I have it set up. He's not doing the GoFundMe. So we're doing different situations. So the reason he's not doing the GoFundMe is GoFundMe has some restrictions. You can raise money for many causes, but with legal cases, they're very restrictive. So what DOA is facing is criminal charges related to violence. So with that, GoFundMe now is very skittish. I think in the past they used to do it, but they had some controversial cases where apparently even terrorists were raising money on their platform, and they were like, no, that's too much. We can't do that. So the platform that DOA is on formally is less restrictive. Now, this is where, and again, I want to be very clear, I am on the left. I'm not super hardcore left, but I would consider myself a man of the left. Again, what does the left mean nowadays? I guess if I have to say where I stand, I guess I am pro-socialist in some ways, but I'm very pro-market in other ways. There's even an ideology called market socialism. You look it up. It's a real thing. So I would say I'm left-leaning in the John Stuart Mill sense, but I am friendly to a lot of these movements, whether it's Marxism or feminism or whatever. However, I'm not a fanatic. A lot of these are good people, a lot of good activists. I know these people, but a lot of them are also pretty crazy stupid, and I've had some bad experiences with those people. So I am on the left and sympathetic to them, but I'm not like a complete stupid fanaticist that every left thing, whether it's queer, woke, trans, oh my god, I'm such a beautiful gay trans out, oh god, frothing at the mouth of every single left-wing cause. I don't think that's healthy, but I am sympathetic to the left. That's where I stand. This is a very right-leaning platform. Now, the way I understand it, DOA puts himself out as this anarchist. He was involved with Black Lives Matter. He's also pro-Trump. He's all over the place. He's all over the map. So I don't quite know ideologically. I guess he's like a right-wing anarchist, I guess. But we're not even getting to major hypocrisy. There's a lot of tea to be spilled here. I'm going to spill a little bit of tea. So if he wants to do this platform to get out of the GoFundMe restrictions, it's fine. It's fine. And good faith, he is showing that, yes, he is going to put Scientology in court. Apparently the judge is going to be friendly to some discovery. So he may get some juicy files from the church. Okay, that's fair. But here's where the hypocrisy is. Like the GiveSendGo people, whatever, they're very right-wing. I mean very right-wing. So if you want to raise money for becoming trans, no, they don't allow that. If you want to raise money to have an abortion, nope, you can't do that either. So it's a little phony where they're saying, we're not GoFundMe, we're libertarian. No, they're not libertarians. So they're not principled. It's just a very right-wing version of GoFundMe because the GoFundMe people were restricting, well, we gotta be honest, some of the right-wing terrorists. They're like, yeah, these Nazi people, not a good idea. So the GiveSendGo are more friendly to the, whatever we call them, white nationalists, I guess. So a lot of people are having fun roasting DOA on his contradictions with his politics. That's not the hypocrisy, though. I would even defend him on the trans issue, because if you want to restrict helping the trans, that is your right. And people get confused. Being queer and being trans are different. They're not identical. So technically, DOA can still be pro-gay and yet anti-trans. I don't know if he is anti-trans, but he's willing to endorse his platform. So he's definitely he's not being totally consistent. That is true. This is where the major hypocrisy is, and there's many hypocrisies. We'll focus on one, because one of DOA's major allies is Liz Ferris. I want to be clear. I feel sorry for Liz Ferris. Liz Ferris has a missing father. Apparently, her father is missing in Scientology. He is still there, so it's a very tragic situation. However, I'm not going to lie for her. Liz Ferris has her own very spotty Swiss cheese record. It's a very spotty, weird record. And she's been caught lying a few times. Some things are forgivable. Like she said months ago, no more YouTube. She's off YouTube. No more YouTube. And then she came back for a YouTube interview. It's like, okay, fine. That's hypocrisy, but it's not too bad. This is major hypocrisy, though, because she and DOA love to make fun of Aaron's homophobia. And it is true. Aaron is a raving homophobic maniac. The guy just loves to talk about gay jokes, loves gay jokes, like making fun of gay people all the time. It's like, listen, if that's his thing, that's his thing. I don't really care. But there's definitely something weird about allegedly having gay allies and then being very homophobic. And although I'm very critical of Liz Ferris and Nora, if they feel as gay individuals that Aaron was being disrespectful, well, the record's not too good. So this is major hypocrisy, because Liz Ferris is supporting DOA and says, DOA is the real deal. He's the real activist. Aaron's a fake activist. I would have to agree that compared to Aaron, DOA is much of a more real activist. His activism is also really bad, but I have to concede that at least he does some things where Aaron basically doesn't do anything and pretends he's doing something. So that much is true. However, how does Liz Ferris and DOA moralize about Aaron's homophobia and his lack of tolerance, and you're on a platform that is clearly anti-gay and anti-trans? And the way I understand it, Nora and Liz Ferris and DOA are at least welcoming to the trans. Are they changing the policy? The trans is no longer welcome? Because they were making a lot of videos. I remember this. Needling, which is totally correct. Totally correct. Because Aaron is very friendly to Andrew Gold. And Andrew Gold has become like this anti-trans maniac. Like, he's become a fanaticist attacking the trans. Now, me, I'm trans neutral. You want to be trans? That's your thing. You go, boy. I don't care. If you want to be anti-trans, same thing. I don't particularly care. So I have no issue reading or watching JK Rowling. I think JK, by the way, is an idiot. However, if she wants to be anti-trans, that's her thing too. I will say this, though, that JK is working with some suspicious people. That's different. She wants to be anti-trans on her own. She's a very rich woman. She has a lot of clout. That is her thing. It's her right. But she is getting involved with some pretty scary people. I'll just say that much. So, you want to be pro-trans? Great. You want to be anti-trans? Great. But I would say, yeah, Aaron and Andrew Gold collaborating with their anti-trans fanaticism is a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. And given allegedly Aaron opposes Scientology, well, he seems to line up with some Scientology positions. So in terms of being anti-gay, anti-trans, he's with the Scientologists. He pretends to oppose them, but he doesn't, right? He'll do a lot of crying. He'll do a lot of fake crying. Oh, they're gay. Oh, they're suffering. Oh, they're suffering in Scientology. Aaron doesn't care. Aaron doesn't care about that. Okay, so that's fine. Needling his hypocrisy. However, you're not much better, right? You're willing to embrace the anti-gay, the anti-trans for money. For money. If it's going your way. Now, I get it, right? The GoFundMe restrictions may be a bad idea. Maybe GoFundMe should be a little bit more loose with the regulations. However, this is a lot of hypocrisy, right? Because now DOA is like, oh, God, such a gay ally. Oh, my God, Liz Ferris and Nora, they've been mistreated. All that is true, but you're raising money on a blatantly, right, anti-gay, anti-trans platform. And even abortions, right? Scientology is notorious for pressuring women to have abortions, right? Apparently, this platform is totally in agreement, saying, yeah, we're against abortion too. No, 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 no. We will not pay for an abortions. No. So restricting women's rights, they're for it too. So yeah, there's some things here that are not, they're not legit. If DOA needs to raise the money for legal defense, right? Whatever. But at least be honest about it, right? The scandal to a lot of DOA people are like, oh my god, he's raising the money, he's a grifter. That's not the scandal. It's not even him doing it on a right-wing platform. It's the hypocrisy. That's the scandal. If you want to moralize about Aaron's homophobia or being anti-trans or Andrew Gold, that's fine. But then you have to honestly say, like, okay, we're violating our own values, right? For money. We're not being totally consistent here. But as far as I know, DOA, Liz Ferris, and Nora are not saying that. They're just like, they're taking the money, but they're not admitting. And that, especially Nora. Nora's gone cuckoo crazy. I hate Trump. I hate the homophobia. I hate the right wing. I stand with the liberals. I stand with Kamala. I stand with gay progress. And then 2 seconds later, she's supporting DOA. Guys, you need to get DOA the monies. Hallelujah. Give him the monies. And but Nora, he's doing it on the gay, anti-gay platform. I don't care about that. No, Nora, I'm sure you don't care about that. We know that. I just want that on the official record. You don't care, right? When the money goes your way or the ideology goes your way, you're willing to sell out the gay and the trans, because that's who you really are. And there we are. But Liz Ferris is a little more disappointing because he seemed to actually take this seriously, gay rights and trans rights, but apparently she is also selling out. Kind of a shame.